Rineer. I wrote music and lyrics for Sick Moves. I'm a third year MFA candidate in the musical theater collaboration program as a composer lyricist. And I'm also in the gender studies graduate program at Temple.
I'm Jason Aguirre. I'm the director, bookwriter, and one of the choreographers on Sick Moves, and I'm also in the MFA Musical Theater Collaboration cohort.
When we were looking for projects, I found myself on one of those like BuzzFeed list article type of things of like weird historical events that nobody talks about. And one of them was a plague called Choreomania in the 16th century that was all across Europe. And I was like, that's really weird and speaks like a musical to me. And then Jason came up with the idea of incorporating dance crazes into that to go through like different decades and different styles of dance. And so that was immediately the inspiration for it.
Uh, I knew it wasn't going to quite work unless we played on tropes that everybody kind of knew or that kind of existed in the popular culture already. So we watched a bunch of pandemic films all in one night. And we tried to see what the beats of those were and like what the common characters were. And they were pretty consistent throughout. Films spanning from the 80s all the way to the 2000s kind of always had a doctor. There was always somebody that the doctor loved that would get in trouble. There was always some type of like person in power who was trying to undermine the finding of the cure of the virus. So that was kind of a springboard into creating the characters for the show.
Yeah, I think it was always apparent that it was going to be a very clear satire of what we're going through. And so, yes, it's always been a huge part of it. It's definitely been a balance of, it's been hard on a lot of people, the pandemic we're in right now, and finding ourselves talking about this kind of absurd plague uh, in rehearsals.
And the other part of it was making sure that the cast and crew felt well taken care of and comfortable at all times, and that like we were constantly checking in about how they were personally and how they were doing artistically before we just kind of dove in.
I mean, I think one of the big things that Jason did that helped a lot was in the filming process, everyone was called every single day. Even if we were shooting a two-person scene, the whole cast was there. In the same way that if we were doing a run through in our rehearsal hall and people were sitting on the sides, they'd be watching their fellow castmates do their solo number and cheering them on. I think that was a big help to uh, I think help the cast feel like they were doing a show together.
And musicals take 3 to 5 to 8 years to develop. And so while it's difficult to develop it right now, we're actually intending it for something to be seen 3 years from now. So this has given us the space to like kind of reflect in real time and also prepare for a future project.
I would say from a writing perspective, definitely uh, satirizing a piece, satirizing something we're experiencing in real time has been a challenge. We started this in June, and a lot has changed since June. And so constantly, like, is this storyline still relevant? Is this plot point still relevant? Is it still pointing to the things that we want it to point to? Yeah, like Jason said, musicals take on average like 5 to 7 years from inception to a production. Um, and so this is less than a year old. And on the first day of rehearsal, we told the cast, like, we understand that this is insane to do a musical on its feet so early, um, and also do it digitally, it's gonna be a wild ride. I think we're both really proud of how far the script has come in that short amount of time. A little bit out of necessity. Deadlines are super helpful. Um, I'm super proud of this score. Um, I wanted to create a score that was in line with one of our big themes of healing. I wanted it to feel joyful. The act of dancing is joyful, um, and I think that's something we need right now. And so I hope when people watch it, that's the sense that they get from the music, at least.
I'm just proud. I'm really proud of the cast, to be really honest. Like the cast showed up every single day, so ready to take all the changes. First of all, things were changing up until moments before they were about to film. Learn new choreography, learn dances that have never existed before to music that didn't. Some of them had never heard the music that's playing underneath them, even when they recorded it. Uh, and their constant spirit, I think, kept us going because we didn't want to let them down.
There's some lines in the show alluding to some rhetoric that we hear, uh, that we've heard over the past year of like wanting to get back to normal. Um, and what even is that? And is normal best? Is that really what we want? So I hope a lot of people are still thinking about that. Um, like I said before, healing is a big theme in the show, and so hoping that there's more conversations about how do we heal from this.
We got some really cool feedback from a different space a couple months ago, which was that the music makes them want to dance in their seats at home. And we wrestle with this a lot within the show of like what is satire, what is genuinely making people laugh, and then what is having people just enjoy themselves together in a space. And our rules that we put in place were put in place to make sure that we're satirizing the correct things and that we're not making light of an issue, but really we're trying to circle an issue and make sure that the hypocrisy of it is underlined. But also at the end of the day, it's a musical comedy and we want people to enjoy themselves and hopefully come out of this knowing that one, choreomania happened and it was a deadly plague. Um, but people came together despite all of the things that happened in that time and carried on. And it wasn't easy, and I don't say that lightly because carrying on every day feels like a massive chore, but it happens. And I hope that hope can be instilled in the audience and that they can leave with like maybe a little dance in their step.
You can follow the show leading up to this workshop at Temple and its development beyond at Sick News Musical on Instagram.